Hey guys, here we are at the beginning of our adventure path, the Burnt Offerings.
And the scenario we're playing is Attack on Sandpoint.
And before we get too deep into this, we thought we'd take a minute and talk about which skill feat we decided to check off for each one of our characters.
Well, I decided to go with Dexterity. I think that's going to affect more of my game than if I'd gone with something else. Because it's going to affect, every time I'm in combat, and it's going to affect barriers. And I just feel like that's, yours is a smarter choice.
Yours is way more versatile than mine. That's the way I feel too, is that you've got almost like a 2 for every time you check mark your Dexterity. Because you use it for combat and also for checked barriers. So I just went with Strength. And I feel like I looked ahead at some of the monsters that we're going to have to face later on during this adventure path, and wow, they are tough.
Yeah.
So no pussyfooting around. Let's just get to it, and let's just go ahead and increase our strength, make sure we're going to be strong enough to take on these guys. Well, that's pretty much it. So without further ado, why don't we go ahead and get into the video on Attack on Sandpoint, and let's see how we did. Okay, we are now on the Burnt Offerings adventure path, and it says for here that the Attack on Sandpoint is our first scenario for us to take on. It says here, during this scenario, if you defeat a monster with the Goblin trait, roll 1d6. On a 1, each character at your location takes 1 fire damage. I guess the Goblin exploded. So, we got our 4 locations out here. Carmen, you want to start with yours down there?
Sure, that's the town square. And at this location, you may discard a card from your hand to explore during your turn. This card may not be recharged. When closing, you banish a card from your hand. And when permanently closed, each character at this location must immediately choose a card and recharge it. Each character may then draw a card.
Well, that's kind of neat for the when permanently closed effect, but I don't like the fact you got to banish a card from your hand just to close it down.
Yeah.
But you know what's nice about that, though, is that it doesn't require you to do a roll check, so that if you do find the henchman, at least you know you're going to be able to get rid of that.
Yeah, and you can banish any card, so hopefully you'll have one that's not,
Exactly.
Okay, next location is Sandpoint Cathedral. At this location, if you defeat a monster, you may add a blessing from your discard pile to your hand.
Hey, that's
very
cool.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that way if you use the blessing to defeat it, you get it right back.
Exactly.
Okay, when closing, banish either a blessing or Father Xantus. I'm guessing Father Xantus is an ally.
He's an ally,
that we don't have.
No, we don't.
When closed, when you end your turn here, you may attempt a Wisdom 6 check to recharge a blessing from your discard pile. Well, if I could succeed at a Wisdom 6 check, that'd be nice, but...
My Wisdom's a D4, so it ain't happening. Okay, so I've got the Swallowtail Festival. It says, at this location, at the start of your turn, you may shuffle any number of cards from your hand into your deck and draw 1 fewer card from that than you shuffled in. So that's pretty cool. So if you got a bad hand, at least that'll give you a better chance of getting a weapon or something.
Yeah.
When closing, defeat or acquire the next card in the deck. If there isn't one, you may close this location automatically. So, now that's pretty neat. I like that. That's a simple task for the most part. I mean, as long as nothing nasty pops up. Alright, so then the last one is the City Gate, which we've seen the City Gate before, I remember this one. And it says here, at this location, if you fail a combat check, shuffle a random monster from the box into the location deck.
That's not good.
I'm not too worried about it. And it says, when closing, summon and defeat a bandit henchman. Okay, well, I've decided to go ahead and start at the City Gate. And the reason is because I feel like I have a greater chance at succeeding at combat than what Carmen does. Even though she's pretty proficient with combat, I have more weapons that I feel like can aid me in that. And that'll make it to where we don't fail the combat check to have to keep shuffling monsters in, hopefully. And Carmen decided the Sandpoint Cathedral. What was your reasoning on that?
I just wanted to be able to acquire those blessings. I thought that looked like a pretty good deal, so we'll see what happens.
Okay, so you want to go first?
Sure.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and flip over your timer. Ooh, a Blessing of ERASTIL.
That's my favorite blessing.
That's going to... You need to do a Dexterity 4, which, good thing you did your check mark on that, so you're going to have a 12 plus 1 on this roll, so just roll at least a 3. And you rolled it off the table into my lap. And you got a 10.
Woo.
So that'll definitely acquire that one.
And this adds 2 dice to a dexterity-based combat check, so that's perfect for me.
Yes, it is. Now, what's cool about this, it says, if you defeat a monster, you may add a blessing from your discard pile to your hand. So do you just want to explore again with your Blessing of the Gods?
I will.
Okay, a potion of energy resistance. This will require an intelligence craft 4. Don't you already have one of those?
I do. I
thought you did. Okay. Yeah. Well, you just roll a d4, I believe, for your intelligence,
4 out of 4. Let's go.
You did it once already. You did it again! You are awesome. Great job,
hon. Well, I think I should probably just discard it. I don't have anything else. I don't want to discard that just to explore again. So.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I don't blame you. Well, great job. That was a very good turn for you. So, all right. Ooh, a crowbar. Ooh, I'm going to get you, crowbar. Okay, so this says it requires a strength 3. Well, I've already got a +1 on my strength, so I roll a d10, and I can add a 1 to it. So I did acquire the crowbar. I'm just going to go ahead and discard that. I don't see a reason to hang on to it. I already got the thieves' tools revealed. So. Okay, so go ahead for you. Frost Ray, a spell. Ooh. Okay, well, there's probably no chance you're going to get this. It takes an Intelligence Arcane 6. What's your Intelligence Arcane?
D4. Okay,
so you could add a blessing to that. I don't see a reason, but it does say, for your combat check, discard this card to roll your Arcane die plus 2d6 with the cold trait. That sounds fantastic, but it's a one-shot deal for us, so what's the point?
Yeah, spells don't do us a lot of good.
Yeah, so there we go. All right, so for me, okay, this is the henchman. This is Sutu Kaijutsu. Okay, this is actually a henchman, and he says that the check to defeat is a combat 10, and the difficulty of checks to defeat Sutsu with the attack or range traits is increased by 2. Well, okay, let me make sure I understand this. The difficulty of checks to defeat with the attack or ranged traits is increased by 2. So no matter what, is he increased by 2? Or is it only if I did a ranged attack on him?
Well, I don't see anything on your cards that says attack.
Yeah, I don't either. So I didn't even know attack was a trait. I
didn't realize that either. See, I have a ranged trait on my weapon, but your weapon doesn't. So I think you're okay.
I'll be fine with this. So okay. So it says, if defeated, you may immediately attempt to close this location. So I'd have to defeat a bandit henchman if I do. So obviously, let's see what I can do here. I think this is huge. We can't miss on this. So I'm going to use my GREATAXE. I've automatically got a d10 plus 1, but my melee strength is plus 4 now. So I've actually got a plus 5 on him already. This will allow me to add an additional d12. I would have to just roll a 5 with a d12 and a d10. What do you think? Should I go ahead and keep going and try to add more, or should I save it for the bandit henchman when I go after him? I could just use this again on the bandit henchman.
Yeah, I think you're going to be fine without a blessing.
I think so too. I mean, there's a chance I could fail, I guess. And if I fail, it would really stink. Now, I could use my blessing of TORAG and just add an additional d10, but I don't want to use my... I don't want to just discard this and add a or well, it'd actually be recharged, but I don't want to do that. I think I'm going to go ahead and use the Blessing of TORAG and add...
Be on the safe side.
Why risk it? You know what I'm saying? Let's just make sure we get this guy. So, okay, so I got 10, 11... So there's 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 total. So he is defeated. So Tsutsu Kajutsu is done. And it says, okay, so if you fail a combat check, no big deal. When closing, summon and defeat a bandit henchman. So you're going to pull one out for me?
I'm looking for one. I thought it'd be in the front, but it's not.
Nope, they're in this stack right here.
They're in a
You're looking in
stack.
the wrong stack. So. Alright, so let's get a bandit henchman there. Alright, so it says here, the check to defeat a bandit henchman is an 8. However, it does say, before the encounter, recharge a card of your choice from your hand. I will choose my wooden shield. Alright, and it says if defeated, I may immediately close this location. So, alright, let's pull this stuff out. Alright, so I'll use my GREATAXE again. That'll give me a d12. Then I do have a D10 as well. Then, as usual, my melee strength is a +4, and I have a +1 automatically, so all I have to do is roll a 3 to be able to defeat him. Man,
you better roll a 3.
Yeah, well, there's a 12, so that's plenty to defeat him. Alright, I was a little confused when I check-marked off my strength. I thought that would increase my strength melee to a +4, and I would also get the +1 on strength to make it a +5 total when I went into combat. So, yeah, a little confused there at the start, but I got it now. Ooh, a great sword. Look at that. Oh, I could have added 2 D6s. Oh, it's too bad you can't, like, pull things out of here after you defeat
it stinks
stuff,
when they're closed early in a way.
Well, one location already down, City Gate. That's pretty fantastic, you have to admit. Now it will be your turn, so I'm going to go ahead and draw back up. And I'll flip over your card. Go ahead. What you want? This is the villain. And it says here, the thing that's unique about him is that you actually have to defeat him twice, not just once. And it says, before the encounters succeed at a stealth 9 check, or the difficulty to defeat Rip Nugget is increased by 2.
Okay.
So, you do, what is your dexterity stealth?
My stealth is dexterity +2. Okay. And my dexterity is a D12 +1.
So you just, you need to get a 6 then, right?
Yeah.
Don't roll a 1, don't roll a 1, don't roll a 1, don't roll a 1, don't!
1 again!
Thank you. Not again. That's the first time you've rolled a 1. You're okay. But you typically are rolling a 1. What am I doing? I was about to take him away. Okay, so it says here then now...
I mean, that's our thing. Don't roll 1. Don't roll 1.
Now, it says Rip Nugget is increased by 2. So that means you're fighting Stickfoot first. And he is a combat 9. Then you're going to be having to fight Rip Nugget, which he will be a combat 12. Do you understand? It says it right there on the card. Stickfoot and then Rip Nugget underneath.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're probably going to use what to fight him with?
Well, I'm definitely going to use this heavy crossbow.
And good thing you picked up that Blessing of ERASTIL, so you're going to probably be able to close this location as well.
I could use Poog.
Poog! I would say this is a big deal, so I would definitely agree with that. So,
well,
you're heavy?
For Stickfoot, I need a combat 9. So you could use my crossbow and then add 3 with the fire trait.
Let me ask you a question real quick. Now, you're fighting with the crossbow, but you have a +1 automatically now, right? Because you're getting a fight with your dexterity?
Yeah.
So you just need to roll an 8, is that correct? So you roll a D12 with your dexterity, then you roll a D10 for your...
For my crossbow.
So if you use Poog, that means you're just going to need to roll a 5 with these 2 dice.
Okay.
Is that correct?
Yeah. Because that would add 3 with the fire trait.
So that would give you 3, and then plus your natural +1, so that's 4. So he's only a combat 9, so yeah, if you roll a 5 with a D12 and a D10, then you have to attack.
Okay.
Then you'll have to go after Rip Nugget.
I was doing pretty good, but then I rolled that 1, so now I'm like, I don't know about this.
Well, I would definitely do the Pook thing. I think that's smart. And everybody that's been watching has been making comments that a lot of times, you know, you decide things and they think you make good decisions. So definitely follow through.
Well, I could recharge my Thieves' Tools just to add another D6, just to be sure.
You can?
Yeah, I can recharge...
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. I'm sorry. Just to be able to, you know what? I think that's a grand idea.
Alright.
So there's another D6.
Do this!
Now, does Poog recharge?
Yes, he does.
Okay.
So he adds 3.
Alright. Come on, hon. You can do it. And you got it.
Whoa,
a 12, a 4,
that.
and a 4. Fantastic. Okay, now you have to be able to do Rip Nugget, and he is a D12 now. Or I'm sorry, he is a 12, not a 10. Okay, so you're going to use your Blessing of ERASTIL?
Yeah.
Which will then allow you to roll the D12 3 times, am I correct?
Yes.
Woo! And plus a D10? Oh yeah.
I'm going to beat him
Rock and roll. Alright, you got him right there already. You can even roll the D12 one more time, I believe, can't you?
Woo!
Yeah, you just kicked him all over the place.
He's dead.
Okay, so that means this location now has been closed. And, Wow, you had some interesting...
Which means I'm not getting my blessing back.
Yeah, well, there was a new blessing in there, too. It's called the Blessing of Lamatsu, and it says, bury this card, add 2 dice to a check to defeat a monster. Interesting, huh?
Oh, no. Well, I forgot to roll for the fire damage. You know, I was so excited that it was the villain that I forgot it was a goblin, too. Okay.
Just 1 blessing out of the box. Wow, I cannot believe we've already closed 2 locations. Okay, so that's going to end the first segment of this adventure. And wow, I mean, we are really flying through this. Two locations already closed.
Yeah, I can't believe I got Rip Nugget and Stickfoot. I mean, they're a villain. I already got them in this scenario. And they're different, you know? You have to defeat them twice in a row.
Yeah, I was really impressed that you was able to get them twice like that. That was really cool. And then I thought that henchman I fought was pretty cool because he's a unique character with Sutsu Kaijitsu or whatever his name is. But yeah, this is really neat. But at the same time, it's almost bittersweet because we're flying through the location so quickly, we're not acquiring anything.
Yeah, we actually, you can see in some of the locations, there were some pretty neat weapons we could have picked up if we hadn't closed them so quickly.
Yeah,
so
is what it is.
Yeah.
And then we had that blessing of Lamatsu. That's a new blessing that actually has come up, which would allow us to add 2 dice to defeat a monster, which is kind of neat. I wish you would have been able to acquire that, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
So anyways, like I said, this is the ending, conclusion of the first part. So we're going to have the second part up here in the next few days and maybe see if we can close out these next 2 locations.
We'll see you then.
Bye-bye.